Oh You Thought Podcast, the place where you get a heavy dose of positivity, sarcasm, knowledge, and ratchetness. Enjoy the show. I'm back. I'm back like I never left. I know y'all missed me. I'm here. It's a new year, new vibe. We made it. Hey, hey, hey. Should I rap on this beat? I really don't feel like rapping. But should I rap on this beat? Hey. Nah, I'm not gonna give y'all no bars. Not yet. Not yet. Rap on this. It's one of my favorite songs. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Fallon. Officially back like I never left. I was about to cuss, but I'm trying to do better for myself and these airwaves. But, yeah, I'm back. It's been a couple of weeks since I dropped an episode. I've just been working like crazy, but I want to officially welcome everybody to an up-and-coming podcast called Oh You Thought, and I am your host, Fallon, and I'm coming to you from Houston, Texas, one of the best places to live. My Rockets are playing Golden State right now, so I have that going on in the background as I'm recording, and hopefully I can stay focused and not scream and yell as I watch my boys play. Anytime we play Golden State, it's a situation for me. But we doing all right now. Happy New Year, people. I wish you nothing but positive vibes, greatness, blessings, like whatever you trying to go after, I'm touching and agree with you in spirit. So 2018 will be a good year, even with Donald Trump still being in office. Like, I was really looking for him to be out in December. But yeah, I don't want to talk about Donald Trump today. I don't think I have anything about Donald Trump on the schedule today, and that's a blessing in itself. And so what have I been doing? I've been doing nothing but like working. I've been blessed to find a new job, and I really like the job, and I'm excited about being able to contribute my thoughts and, you know, my skills from my past job. Oh, look at Usher is here at the Houston Rockets game. How crazy is that? I'm sorry, I told you I got this game on. I don't know if I'm able to focus. But yeah, so I've been working, and so basically I'm going on week 4. This is week 4. And so the first 3 weeks I've been working like every single day. And so that's what I've been doing on that end. I believe I talked about on my last episode, your girl is officially single. And that's the way I'm living. I'm living like I'm single, living my life like it's golden, all that greatness. I'm in a good place. So I'm going on 2 months being single. And I have to say this, I don't know if Louisiana Man has been listening to my podcast on the low, and I don't know it, but I felt like I spoke something into existence, y'all. Like, what did I say on the last episode? I was like, if he can come back in my life, because we've been friends. Like, it's just like, you know, we haven't been talking like we were talking. We were, you know, seeing each other. And guess who popped up in my text messages? Louisiana Man. So, I don't know. I'm still gonna be single or whatever. That doesn't change anything, but that's a good option to have in my life. So yeah, so that's another thing that's been going on. I've just been living, trying to get my rest when I can. Still, like, I feel like a little disappointed as far as like my podcasting. And I told y'all just to be patient with me. I promise to really get a flow going for y'all so I can consistently drop episodes for y'all. I know I said I was going to drop special episodes, and they're still going to drop. But at this point, they're probably going to drop as bonus episodes, like whenever. I still want to do episodes with my best friend. So that's kind of like the delay with some of these episodes that I wanted to do. And we're just both out here working, and so we're both very busy. And so, yeah, I want to give some shout outs to my faithful SoundCloud listeners. Thank y'all. I have a lot of subscribers, and I'll talk about that later on in the show when I get to the positivity jar reveal. I don't know if everyone's been listening long enough, but I said that I would go through some of my positivity nuggets that I put in my jar this year. And so I just did that, and it's kind of mind blowing. And I'll talk about that more in detail. But to EY on SoundCloud, thank you again for another comment on my podcast. EY said, it's really cool what you do. And I appreciate all the comments that I get, all the feedback that I get. I do look at all the comments and everything when they do happen. Still go comment on Apple. Put me some comments, rate the podcast. I don't care if you feel like it's a 1, rate that hoe. Like, just rate it. Like, do that. So, subscribe if you haven't been if you haven't subscribed yet. Subscribe. I'm a little bit rusty on the mic. I feel like I haven't been on the mic in forever, not just like a couple of weeks. But yeah, thank you again, EY. And there again, I don't know if it's just A, but I'm pronouncing it like it's spelled EY. So I'm calling you EY. Thanks for the love and support. I want to shout out the top 5 cities that have been listening via SoundCloud. VA in the building. Ashburn, what's up? Never heard of the city, but thank you for listening. Kansas City, be holding it down. I don't know who's out there listening. Y'all email me, comment on SoundCloud or whatever, so I can put some faces and names to the people that are listening. But thank you, Kansas City, for listening. London, I get a lot of listens in London, which is kind of shocking to see how you can just, just all over the world, people are listening. It's crazy. Detroit, what up? Got a lot of family in Detroit. I don't know if it's some family members listening, but thank you, Detroit. And last on the list is LA. What up, LA? So thank y'all on SoundCloud. And like I said, I want to try to do that every week since I have visibility on the comments and the cities and all that greatness. So SoundCloud, y'all can get y'all shout out every single week as long as I don't forget. I'm going to take care of y'all. Everybody else, hit me up. Like I said, leave comments so I can shout you out. If nothing else, I promise you, like every single email and comment that will come through, I will make sure I acknowledge it somehow, some way on the podcast, unless you don't want me to. Thank you for all the new followers on Instagram. Thank you to all my followers on Twitter. I'm starting the podcast out with a lot of thank yous. I normally do this at the end, but I just feel so thankful and grateful. And yeah, my heat just did like a weird thing. It acted like it wanted to come on and then it didn't. So that scares me a little bit. Hopefully my heat and AC is not going out. That would be horrible. Okay, so like I said at the top of the show, I was going to share some of the entries that I put in my little positivity jar. Like this year, this is my second year doing it for the positivity jar. The first year I did it, it was filled, but it wasn't, full like it was for 2017. Had a lot of ups and downs in 2017, but I had a lot of stuff to be appreciative for. And so I'm going to share with you a nice amount of my entries. And I'm only doing this to, number 1, we're family, my Oh You Thought family. And number 2, to just inspire people with positivity. Because, if you know me personally, or if you just know me through this podcast, the things I've talked about, I never stopped fighting. And I never let positivity leave my bones. Like, I have to have positivity in my life. I have to have God in my life. And through all those things, I'm surviving and I'm happy. And I'm a different kind of happy. Even with going through heartbreak recently, like I am still happy. And there again, I think it's also because I'm very determined. When I started this podcast, I made sure I shared my struggles with depression and how I was severely depressed in December of 2016. And I said I never wanted to go back there. I constantly struggle with depression, but it's a different level than what it was in December 2016. And I like to keep talking about it to let people know that you can overcome. And you just got to know yourself, your limitations, and how far you can just go with the sadness so you don't just clock out on yourself. And so I'm not ashamed to share my walk with depression or talk about it, because there again, I want to inspire. And so with that, I'm going to go to the first thing that I want to talk about in my positivity jar. And it just simply says, made it to day 1 of 2017. And again, that was a very important thing for me because I was so depressed in December 2016. Let's see. Another one I put in the jar, I got laid off. Like the whole time I went through the process, like I probably cried collectively tears for like less than an hour. And then it was just like, that's what I've been needing. I needed to be released. And it's kind of funny because the whole time I was there, probably like the last couple of years, I was just always looking for jobs, always applying for jobs, but I was never getting callbacks or anything like that. And so I felt so defeated. And it was just like, God, he prepared this package for me. And this package was just for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been praying on this to be released from the job and all this stuff. And it happened. It happened in his timing. And I always, when I talk about this, I talk about the significance of numbers, like biblical numbers. I have been at that job 7 years. 7 years is a number of completion. And my time was done. It's, like I got laid off 2 months shy of my going on. Yeah. So I was still there 7 years, but I officially got laid off in April, but they kept me on until September. So I made it through 7 years and some change. And so number of completion, time was over, and that whole time I was just never worried. I was never worried. Like I had a couple of moments I was like, okay, is this unemployment really gonna come through? And had issues with unemployment and all that stuff. And it's amazing like how many calls and emails I started getting when I was doing my job applications. Like it's crazy. And so that's another reason why I just knew that God had his hands on this scenario. What else do I have in my jar? I am free from Hanger. And Hanger is the place I used to work for. What else? I got my DBA. And for those of you not into having your own business and all that stuff, that means doing business as. And you have your company name. What else? Let's see. My little sister's getting married. And ironically, we are now at that month where she's getting married. She's getting married on January the 14th. So I'm so excited for my little sister. Like, she's kind of like the one, like, it's amazing to where you can be the older sister and still look up to your little sisters. Like, she's an amazing young lady. And I'm very, very happy for her. What else? I launched my fucking podcast in April of last year. So I put that in the jar. Like, for me, the kind of personality that I have, it was so much work putting together my podcast. Because I just didn't want to just get behind the mic and start talking. I did my research. I did practice episodes. Like, I put in work. I want this to be a good setup. I want this to continue to grow. I'm still fired up about this podcast. This is still my baby. Steph Curry gets on my nerves. I'm sorry. I'm watching this game. We're only up by 1 point. What else I got here? Like, I wrote in the wrong color. Like, I have a lot of these written in yellow, and my blind self can't see. Oh, this is another little good memory. I spoke to C Note of the Botany Boys, which to me is like a legend in Houston. Like, I love the Botany Boys, and I like C Note. And so I reached out to him. There again, connection to the podcast. When I was preparing to drop my podcast, and me and my best friend kind of came up with this idea. I came up with this slogan, and then we were like, oh, you should play a piece of Hold It Down by C Note. And so I reached out to him on Instagram, and he answered. He was so nice, and I explained what I was doing. I was like, hey, it's not a big podcast, haven't even launched it yet, so I just want to use a snippet of your song for my outro. And he told me that I could use it. So for me, like, I will forever hold that conversation near and dear to my heart. And it just goes to show you, like, for the most part, most of these Houston rappers and people like that, like, they're really, really down to earth, the ones that I've come across. And so I was so happy that day. That was a good day. I got a few more to go through. I am no longer sad. This is a personal thing. I am no longer sad about not having a baby yet. It's one of those things, like, you kind of just, you got to come to grips with who you are, what's going on with your health, and you just got to be real with yourself. And at this point, I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship. I'm not rushing to get married, to be in a relationship, or to fall in love again, for that matter. And so I always wanted to be a mother, but at this point, it's just like, I'm not stressing about it. I'm not worrying about my so-called clock ticking and all that stuff, the pressures that females go through. I know that I have a health situation with having polycystic ovary syndrome, so I know it will already be hard for me to have a child anyway, and that's kind of been proven throughout the years, that it's going to be hard for me to get pregnant, but I'm just letting it go. At this point, I don't think that I'm going to be able to naturally conceive a baby, and that's okay. And there's so many babies out there that need love, that need to be adopted, and so that's the only option I really have on my table at this point. If I happen to get married, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. And with me being 36, I just turned 36. I had a birthday, y'all. My birthday's on Christmas, for those of you that don't know me personally like that. So I spent my birthday just really laying on the sofa watching basketball, because I just felt really tired and sick. So I didn't want to even be around family members. So I stayed at home by myself, which I like to do. And so, yeah, so I had a birthday. So I'm 1 year older, but I don't look like it, okay? What else? I will win. And, this jar is not just about positive things that happen to me. I filled this jar with a lot of, like, positive affirmations, like, to encourage myself when I open this jar. And 9 times out of 10, I remember why I wrote some of the positive things to uplift me in the jar. What else? I got 3 more. God is faithful. And I know I wrote that when I got this job that I'm currently on. So God is so faithful. I'm going to save that one for last. No? Yeah, I'm going to save that one for last. The next one, I talk about being thankful for how many subscribers I have. And I have that entry in there twice. And the first time I wrote it, it was in the hundreds as far as the subscribers. The next time I wrote it, it was in the thousands. And it just keeps growing. It keeps growing. I don't know who you are. There again, I don't know who you are. You don't talk to me like that. But I have thousands of subscribers, just little old me. I'm not famous or anything, but I am committed to doing the work as far as promoting it and everything and caring about the content that I put out there. So that's why if I'm not feeling it, I keep telling y'all this, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not recording. And thank you. Thank you for, in my eyes, making this a successful podcast. When I first launched this podcast, I was thinking, oh, I'll be thankful to have like 500 subscribers. And it grew really fast. And when I checked my numbers, probably a couple weeks ago, and I saw the numbers, I was just like, it's amazing. It is amazing. And I will tell you this, I had started listening to the Joe Budden podcast over like the old episodes, like maybe a few months ago. And they talked about how many numbers they started out, probably like their first week or month. And I said, if I can obtain that number, I'm doing good. And I'm close to that number. And I won't say that number because I don't like for people like to gauge my stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's good. But I like to keep some mystery, you know? Is that okay? But yeah, and so I have that number as far as like a personal goal. Because I feel like when I reach that personal goal, I can start moving to the next level with certain things that I want to do with this podcast. And so, yeah. So 2018 will be even better. We're going to keep growing and be more consistent. And yeah, so the last little thing I want to share in my positivity jar that I wrote down, and really this is going to touch home for a lot of people that went through this terrible hurricane season and you survived. Number one, thank God for all of those that survived, and blessings to the families that had to deal with losing everything, losing life, family members, friends. God bless you. But I survived Hurricane Harvey. And I've been through a good amount of hurricanes living in Houston. And the last one that I went through that really just scared me, and I always said I would never stick around for another hurricane, was Hurricane Ike. And one thing about Hurricane Ike, it was one of those things because in my area, it came through at night. And so that's already like top level scary for me. And it was such a massive storm. But I think going through Hurricane Ike and then going through Hurricane Harvey, it's levels to these hurricanes. Like, Ike came through, caused a lot of damage, but it was fast. But I will just never forget the howling winds and the sound of the hurricane. Like, it was so scary. And so to go through Hurricane Harvey and to see the flooding. Now, there again, here in Houston, we can flood in like 5 seconds, literally, with just a quick rain. And so I just never thought I would see the rain at this level, the magnitude. And it was one of those things again, like this storm, it hit at night. I decided to stay here in my apartment by myself. And so I was terrified, but I held it together. My best friend, we held down each other during the hurricane, just talking to each other, making sure that that we were okay and everything. But I will never, ever, ever forget all the water I saw on the news in my apartment complex. The highway by my house, it just looked like an ocean, and they had boats saving people all day long. And I will never forget the sound of those airboats. So it's just like now I have the sound from Ike and I have the sound from Harvey with the boats, and it's just a terrifying thing being stuck in your house for like a week. But I survived, and my power went out probably for less than 30 minutes during the whole process. I'm on the 3rd floor, and so I had to pay money to get my car fixed, but it wasn't totaled out. And so I'm thankful. And so yeah, definitely that's the highlight of the year, saying that I survived Hurricane Harvey. I survived being unemployed, and things are just going to get better. I'm not afraid of the future. But yeah, and so keeping the theme of positivity, of course, your girl is going to hold y'all together. I want to go through 50 positive lifestyle changes that you can make. And since it's a time of year where people want to make changes, you have your New Year resolutions and all that stuff. So quickly, I'm going to go through the 50 things. Drink more water. Don't skip breakfast. Binge on something unhealthy late. See, I need to learn how to read. Don't skip breakfast because you'll be less likely to binge on something unhealthy later in the day. Snack on some berries and almonds. Take omega-3. 5, drink herbal tea. 6, try to sneak in some leafy greens into your diet. 7, always have something healthy to snack on. 8, step away from your desk at least once every hour. 9, eat slowly. 10, never go grocery shopping while hungry. I think you already know this. 11, laugh often. Laughing is so important. 12, practice gratitude. That is so important. 13, be kind. You never know what people are going through. Be kind. 14, create morning rituals you'll look forward to every day. 15, take the stairs. I take the stairs every day. What else? 16, spend more time in nature. 17, get up early. 18, do something nice for others on a regular basis. Okay. 19, practice self-care. This is so important. This should be like number 1. 20, diffuse essential oils. I love doing this. I love it. 21, never write and send emails or text messages while you're angry. 22, remember to recycle. 23, don't complain. 24, stop waiting for Friday for summer for love. Just go. Just do it, y'all. 25, be more mindful. 26, don't waste your time crying over the past. 27, let go of your need to protect. Let go of your need to be perfect. That is definitely me. 28, keep track of your goals and set new ones. 29, do more what you love. 30, try new things. 31, judge less. Okay. 32, know how to slow down and be present. That's what I need to do. 33, don't compare yourself to others. You are unique. You heard me? 34, keep your email box organized. Oh, I have so many emails. 35, learn to say no. 36, if you're in a relationship, nourish your relationships. And this is not just romantic relationships, all kind of relationships. 37, practice positive thinking. 38, dance more often. 39, stop procrastinating. 40, get more sleep. 41, take a little tech time out. Put your phone down, turn your phones off. Do you? 42, start using positive affirmations. 43, don't ever stop learning. That is so important. 44, worry less. That should be like top 5. 45, listen more. 46, edit your life frequently. Get rid of things or people that don't serve you. That sounds like a sprinkle of Jesus quote right there. 47, appreciate the little things in life. 48, stay curious, but not nosy, okay? There's a difference. 49, once in a while, spoil yourself. 50, don't be afraid to dream big. So yeah, a lot of good information there. Let's see. More positive stuff. Being mentally strong. And I have a post for that too. And so it's so important, there again, to take care of yourself. And let's just call 2018 the year of being mentally strong. I know I talked a lot about mental health last year, and I just want to continue on that track because it's something that's very, very important to me. Just a few tips. Treat yourself with kindness. Say no when you need to. Step out of your comfort zone. And I need to do that more. Don't compare yourself to others. Embrace your mistakes. A lot of the stuff I just talked about. Make rest a priority. And trust me, I do. And make fun a priority too. And I plan to do that this year. Make new friends. That's something I plan to do this year. I want to make new friends. Create something. My podcast is still going to be that. What else? Clear out physical and emotional clutter. Yes, Lord. Treat your mental health with the same importance as your physical health. Definitely important. Ask for help. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. So yeah. There's another positive post that I want to talk about. And I'm going to talk about relationships just for a little bit later on in the podcast. But we tend to chase people a lot. And this post I found like 2 months ago. Found it on Instagram. And it says, stop chasing people. If they block you, cut off contact, ignore you, let them go. Let those who naturally gravitate to you enjoy your energy. We spend so much time begging for those who wouldn't blink twice at the thought of you. Cherish those who are there by choice and not there because you chase them every time they decided to escape. And this is also being just open and honest. Like with my relationship with Mr., I got tired at this point of the whole disappearing thing. And when I saw this post, ironically, this was in November when he disappeared for the last time. This post was like confirmation for me. Like, okay, girl, just let him go. You didn't do anything wrong. You did everything you were supposed to do as a girlfriend. You were a great girlfriend to him. Sorry, I was reading a text at the same time. And you did what you were supposed to do. Don't feel guilty. Just move on. And so stop chasing people in 2018. I know a lot of this stuff it sounds cliche and we say this stuff all the time, but let's keep each other in check. You know, get yourself an accountability partner. Like, stop chasing people. Be by yourself. It's okay. Like, I'm happy. I'm truly happy not having to deal with that anymore. And to have dealt with him on and off for like 8 years. Anytime that I wasn't dealing with him, I was mentally good. I was at peace. But it's just something about him that I always gravitated back to him. And it's probably because more worry than anything else. And I can't talk about what I worry about as far as him. But there's a really good reason why I always went back to him. But I'm good. So if I can do it, you can do it. So yeah, today I'm just going to let the show flow all the way down. You're not going to hear all the little bumpers in between. We're just going to keep talking and just let it flow. And so there again, a typical thing that people like to do when the new year starts, they want to try to lose weight. And so I thought it was really cool to see that DJ Khaled is the new Weight Watchers ambassador. And so that's definitely a glow up for him. He's been glowing up, it feels like, for the last couple of years consistently. And so it's good to see him out here making moves. A couple of things that I'm excited about this week. Nashville is back. It starts tonight on Thursday, so I'm excited for that. Catfish is back. I talked about my catfish experience on the last episode. I've always been intrigued by catfish, because I just don't understand the motivation behind wanting to fake like you're somebody else. And so I can't wait to see what they have up their sleeves, and to definitely have gone through I know it's a true catfish. I know I haven't really been talking to James Harden and update on that, like after the last correspondence on the alleged gifts, giving me gifts and stuff. Yeah, I think I told him something about the game on Christmas, and that was it. And so we haven't been talking or whatever. So I really don't think I was talking to the real James Harden. He never answered my DM on Instagram to see if we were really communicating on Facebook Messenger. And so, yeah, so I've just always been like just interested in catfish, and it drives me crazy when they get to the big reveal and XYZ comes out that door and it's not the same person on that picture. Like, is it like less than 10 have been actual true to who they were on the picture? I know it's a small percentage of people that have really turned out to be who they say they are. And so that's always just mind blowing to me. And yeah, Love and Hip Hop. They started up in a new city in Miami, and I'm already tired. I'm so tired of Trina's cousin who wants to piggyback off her success instead of just continuing to work on his own career. Like, I just thought, like, every time he showed up in the scene, he was being just irate, crazy, and selfish. And it's just like, homie, like, what's good? Like, get over it. So yeah, I'm already tired of Love and Hip Hop Miami. I don't know if I'll be watching next week, but I am spent on it already. Some good positive news. Founder of Shea Moisture, he acquired Essence magazine from Time Inc. And so I think that's so cool. It's not a knock on that. Or anything like that, but how do magazines really survive in a world where everyone gets their information from the internet, from their cell phone? Like, everything is so instant. How do magazines really survive? And for those that are truly surviving, being true, like, magazines and stuff, like still printing magazines, it has to be a catch to it. It has to be something. Come on, Ariza, get up. I'm sorry, y'all. Like, Ariza's on the floor. We don't need anyone else to be injured. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, like, that's something that I constantly think about. Not constantly. Look at me. I'm lying on the mic. But I do think about, like, when I'm in the grocery store and I see all these magazines, and I'm just like, what are their margins? How much money are they bringing in? Who's the top magazine? Like, all these things. And so I just thought, yeah, that's definitely a good thing to get Essence magazine back from being ran by white people, which, we need to keep stuff that's for us, by us, ran by us. And so that was a good thing to see. So I brought up relationships a little bit ago when talking about, not chasing people and stuff. And so I saw another post that triggered me on Facebook maybe about a month ago, and I wanted to talk about it when I really had time to just dive in more than just the top layer. And so here's the post, and it had a lot of people talking when this post was initially put out. I saw this on Instagram. Did I just say Facebook? But I actually saw it on Instagram. Okay, and it says, telling her you're not ready for a relationship, but expecting her to give you relationship benefits is abuse. It's confusing. It's hurtful. Stop it. Now, number one, and I'm a female that's built differently as far as my mindset. I almost operate like a dude as far as how I operate in relationships. No, boo boo. That is not abuse. When you tell, since they're, directing this comment towards females, when you tell a female that you're not ready for a relationship and expecting her to give you relationship benefits, that just seems to naturally happen no matter how you slice it. And I'll tell you why, and I'll dive in a little bit deeper. But it's definitely not abuse, because as a female who has been in situations like this, what is the number one thing that we always think, ladies? We always think that we can change that dude's mind when he says he's not ready for a relationship, when he says he just wants to kick it. And you say, okay, John, because you think you can change him. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to spill the tea. It never happens, but you already knew that tea. It never happens. I've never had a situation where a guy has told me that he's not ready for a relationship and we end up falling in a relationship. It has never happened. There again, we're a family. So I'm going to share some of my tea to kind of bring this together. Number one, before I dive into my personal juice, like if someone is willing to be honest and say, hey, this is what I want, take them at their word. If they say they are not ready for a relationship, they're not ready for a relationship, boo-boo. If they honestly tell you that they are out here sleeping with every single person they want to because they are single, believe them. Like, stop thinking that, and I've learned this from my guy friends, that your box is so special that you're going to keep your man because it's so special. And sorry to tell you, ladies, doesn't work like that. Especially if you're not in a relationship. Men, like, there again, I get this analogy from talking to my guy friends over the years. They just like to try anything that's new. And so with the age of social media, where all the options are always on the table, from sun up to sundown, they have all these opportunities to try different vaginas. If y'all are not in a committed relationship, and a lot of people cheat, what makes you think that a man is going to be loyal to your box because you think your box is so good because he tells you it's so good, but he's still out here being a single man because he is single. And so that is not abuse. You need to hold yourself accountable. If you know the type of female you are, to where you get caught up, you can't handle being in just a sexual relationship, then this is not the path for you. Just be by yourself. When you learn to be by yourself, saying no to things that will end up hurting you in the end becomes much easier. And for someone, I had a relationship. It wasn't a relationship. I had a situationship where basically I met this guy. This was years ago. We're still cool and friends today, but you would never know our relationship unless you were like my best friend and I've told him his name or whatever. And we had an agreement, and basically, we had an agreement, and I'll just let you fill in the blanks or whatever. And the agreement was, we were both busy. Well, as soon as we met him on date number one, basically, he told me what he wanted, what he had time for. And basically he was on a chase to just work and be successful. And I was just like, do people really do this? Do they just say, hey, this is what I want us to be, but I don't want to be in a relationship? And it was in a point in my life where I had just stopped messing with Mr. again, but it was like early on in the Mr. Chronicles. And I was just like, you know what? I don't want to be cookie cutter, safe Fallon. But of course I was having safe sex with this guy. But I don't want to be committed. And we did that for like over a year, and it was just, we didn't go on dates. We would hang out and we would do what was the agreement. I will say this, when he first presented what he wanted, I was like, I don't think I can do that. And I don't think I talked to him for a while. And then I ended up calling him. I was like, cool, I'm with it. And really one of the best decisions of my life to have no commitment. And it was like one of those things also where you might catch feelings, but he's not catching feelings. Or he caught feelings, but I wasn't there. And that happened with us. Like, it was always those conversations of, oh, I wish I could be your boyfriend, but I'm so busy. Or me, oh, I wish we could, I almost said his name, his nickname, not his real government name. Oh, I wish we could be together because, he's a really good dude. He's a really good man and everything. I don't have anything bad to say about him. And we'll probably be forever cool on the low because people don't know our relationship. But that was a fun time in my life to have no commitment, but really, like, I was still committed because I was still just dealing with one dude at the end of the day. And there again, like, when I talk about conversations like this, you need to be safe and, wear protection, all this stuff. And we also, in our agreement, we always said, if you started dealing with somebody else, tell me. And that was the case. Like, he knew when I was dating someone. I actually started dating a man that was like a virgin at 35. And me and this dude, we would have conversations about that and laugh and stuff. And so I was open with that. And so that was a time period where we weren't seeing each other. And then when I started messing with Mr. again, I told him. Like, so it was always open and honest. And I think that's like one of the best things to do. But I say all that to say this. I never changed his mind officially about wanting to be in a relationship with me. And so I totally disagree with this statement about it being abuse. And yes, it's confusing because it's natural to catch feelings for someone that you're being intimate with like that, where it's really, I'm old school, y'all, even though, I'm not a virgin or whatever, but I feel like you should just connect with people because it's a true thing. I don't know where I saw it or whatever, but you have all these ties with people when you're sleeping with multiple people, whether you know it or not. That's probably why I always felt connected to Mr. because Mr. was my first. And so why do you want to be tied up? I feel like my pastor preached on this. Why do you want to have your soul tied to so many people? And it's a feeling, whether you want to admit it or not. Because I don't know how many people can just really just turn themselves off and just go lay down with people. I'm invested. Even with that guy, with the situation we had, I was mentally still invested. I was attracted to him. We had conversations on a daily, even though we didn't date or whatever. Like, so we got to know each other. And so I would just say to the females that think that you can change a male's perception or idea, you can't. Like I said, you could have the best personality. You could even be sexy as hell. Like, Beyonce got cheated on, since a lot of people hold Beyonce to a certain standard. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, if it's for you, it's for you. If that dude is for you, he's for you. You're not going to have to do anything extra or whatever. But, yeah. So just never assume anything. I think, like, for me, like I said, that I don't want to be in a relationship anytime soon unless, like, it's God sent, and that is very true. And so I'm going to govern myself accordingly. Like, I'm not going to be out here making promises to dudes and all that stuff, and I'm going to keep it real. Like, I'm not looking for this. I'm not looking for that. And so, like with Louisiana Man, like, it's the same kind of thing. When we first started dealing with each other, we were both like, we don't want a relationship. I'm good by myself. Like, we are loner types. And it's a different situation because we've known each other pretty much like our whole like since our teenage years to now. So we've known each other for a long time, and there was already love there. And so it's a little bit different, but catch feelings and you get close, and I love yous come out and all that stuff. And it changes the dynamics of you just supposed to be kicking it. And 9 times out of 10, it happens on the female side. And, and it's just like, why put yourself through that, girl? Like, just don't. All right. So let's go into sports before I tell all my business. And y'all don't need to know all my business. But yeah, I want to talk about sports. I've been talking about my Rockets since I've been watching this game, and we're losing right now. But we still got most of the second half to go. And I just want to briefly go over how everything is looking in the NBA. Harden is injured. He won't be reassessed until January the 15th. And so I'm hoping he's cleared to play, because I'm supposed to go to my first game of the season on January the 20th when we play the Warriors again here at home on a Saturday. So I'm excited about that. In the conference, we went on a little losing streak, and so yeah, it's a nice little distance between us and the Warriors, but we're still second. Spurs are third. Timberwolves are fourth. Thunder, they're fifth. Denver, sixth. Portland, 8th. And the Pelicans. Portland, 7th. Pelicans are 8th. And so Pelicans have made a nice little moves. Mavericks, they're no longer the last team in the West. We can give that trophy out to the Lakers. Celtics are still number 1 in the East. Then it's the Raptors. Cavs are 3rd. Wizards are 4th. Bucks 5th. Pistons 6th. Heat 7th. Pacers 8th. And I really like for the 76ers to go ahead and make another move. All these threes, like, that's why I don't get about the Rockets. Like, if you're not making the threes, shoot the 2, do a layup, like, do something to get some separation. I'm sorry, I'm still commenting on the game, but I would like for the 76ers to move back up into the top 8 so they can go to the playoffs, because time is going by so fast nowadays. What's going on in Houston this weekend? Big Frida, one of my favorites, like, Louisiana born, Houston raised. So I love my Louisiana music, love my bounce music. And so I wish I would have prepared so I could go see Big Frida. But yeah, so Big Frida's in town. I haven't talked about music in a while. Let's see. Smoke DZA, he dropped, got the hiccups. He dropped a mixtape around Christmas, on Christmas. And my best friend, like always, he put me onto it. And so if you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. It's called An Iceberg Big. And so let's see, what do I want to play? The whole mixtape is really good, but I'll play a little bit of the song that my best friend talked about. It's called My Mother's Favorite Luther Song, and he's rapping over a Luther Vandross song.
Filet mignon and a better rice, let's get it right. Got me work for a better price, was mega light. Champagne, we can end the night, another flight. Shit, I need me a mega right, that's hella tight. Word to the hustlers, dead alike, I never write. Audio dope, I never be broke. Stay stone, get high off every tote. That boy too much in the matrix, he will never be woke. Monetize every dollar off the melody wrote. Generous 29 in every...
So yeah, that's a little bit from Smoke DZA and his mixtape, an Iceberg Big Christmas. And apparently I couldn't see the whole title when I first started talking about it. Another song that I really, really like that came out over the holidays, or recently actually, but it's on Dedication 6 from Lil Wayne. And it's Lil Wayne and Drake rapping over Jay-Z's Family Feud. And a couple of points that I like from Drake's verse, he states, I think about paying Wayne what Universal owes him. And then he also talks about the unfairness of the Meek Mill case with him being in jail. And so I'm going to play a little bit from that song. And Dedication 6 was just a solid mixtape from Lil Wayne. And then, of course, it doesn't want to play when I'm trying to play it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
And I love this song anyway from Jay-Z.
Dedication 6.
But they really did a good job.
Shout out Guru for sending me the beat.
Every time I hear the song, like, I want to start singing the Beyonce stuff.
Yeah.
I hold myself back.
Alright, I got it. Yeah. Super Bowl goals. I'm at the crib of Puff. He got Kaepernick on the phone. He in a
Should
whole
start the
different
song
mode.
later.
Angel Head 2 a.m. for being whole. Just to show him how I treat the city like my humble abode. Hey, tell me if TD Bank is approving loan.
I don't want to get in trouble, so I don't want to play too much. But if you haven't heard that song, go listen to it. Another artist I want to talk about is King Los, and he dropped the GOAT mixtape, and it's just another good mixtape. And let me see if I can find it. I'm on thatpiff.com, well, the app. And there's so many mixtapes on here, but it dropped around Christmas or in December. Okay, here we go. And let's see. Let me play a little bit from him rapping over bank account. This is King. I don't want a commercial. Mixtape is so good. And another mixtape my best friend put me on. This is King Los.
I noticed that you been on low stick. Lately all you niggas out here sounding like my old shit. Old shit. Bogus. Y'all co-signing bullshit. Then you don't include me when it's time. Now that's some bullshit. Little bitch. Ooh, I'm the GOAT, bitch. Ooh, I'm the GOAT. Ooh, I'm the GOAT, bitch. But you niggas know.
So yeah, if you haven't listened to that mixtape, go check it out. I'll talk about more music somewhere down the line on another episode, but that's all I have for this episode. So yeah, again, Happy New Year. Write down some goals. Go after your goals. Email me at OhYouThoughtFallon@gmail.com. You spell my name Fallon. What else? Follow me on Twitter, Pretty and Smart 81. That's pretty, the letter N, 81. I always say it wrong. Pretty and Smart 81 is my Twitter name. That's pretty, the letter N, Smart 81. Follow me on Instagram, OhYouThoughtFallon. And that's it. So I'll be back next week. I'll holler at y'all later. Good night, or good morning, or good afternoon. Until next time, remember to glow up, bless up, stay prayed up, and hold it down.
Hold it down.